Welcome back to the continued adventures of Hill Orc Fighter Giac of Beogh. You'll notice perhaps this is a short video. I wonder what happens. Some foreshadowing. This time I'm doing the Vestibule to Hell, and my goal is just to snipe Geryon and expend the rest of my orcs. There's no branch or floor that I want to use them on after this floor, so they are all 100% expendable. And I'm making a mistake here. I should have recalled my orcs in and immediately set them on Geryon. Instead, I'm messing around trying to stair dance up that red devil and just kind of screwing around. And that allows the reinforcement rate to overwhelm my damage output. And so I don't get that juicy Beogh steamroll going. You know, if the orcs just start dying before they can be healed, then it's a failure. You don't get the Beogh steamroll effect. So I actually learned something, and it was interesting this run, which is that when I'm doing Vestibule, unlike Vaults 5, stair dancing is not optimal. There's only one stair, there's not 3 stairs, which is a minor difference, but the main difference is just that there's very little structure preventing everything from running into the middle. So you just have to rush. Well, you don't have to. Oftentimes stair dancing will work, but sometimes it doesn't. So that's why it's good to have... the layout varies. Sometimes there's more structure in the middle and sometimes there's less. This is a low structure time, and anyway, I think it's best to just rush every time since the potential for overwhelm is so strong. Anyway, I stair danced up this demon pack and decided to first of all avoid the double elect, and then just finish them both with the scourge. I was hoping for a better wand of clouds than the poison, so I just went up when I got that. I'm considering whether I want a better entrance, and I decide that I do. I don't like the water since a lot of the demons are flying, so my orcs will be at a disadvantage. So if I called in the heavy contingent of orcs, then there would have been no problem holding my ground there and finishing off Geryon from the get-go. The key is to not let him get going. So there's no more orc training on Vestibule. That's totally done. And it's fine to keep stair dancing to, you know, let a status effect heal off. But the point is that when you're stair dancing, you should be bringing full orc damage to bear downstairs. The full, you know, elite brigade damage. Not elite squad, let's say. was a squad 4 elite platoon. It's better. So now I've got Geryon by himself, which is ideal. And I think the, I don't know, but maybe it would be thematic if Curare suppressed his horn, since it's a breath deal. Anyway, these hell hogs are threatening to make a ton of noise and pull everything. They also do AoE damage, which counters my orcs. So I don't think this is going to work, but I tried anyway to see if any of them can be feared, and the answer is no, because they have negative energy resistance. I guess that means they can't be feared, or else they're the demon subtype. I'm not sure which it is. Anyway, rearranging my spells. Seeing what I can do about these hell hogs. I eventually decide that I'm going to... What do I do? Oh yeah, there's the fear that didn't work. I boosted it with plus int axe, but nothing. So now I try a enslavement to prevent the hell hog from triggering the alarm. It doesn't work. So I take him up to try to minimize the damage the mark inflicts on enemy pathing to the stair. Hill hog's down, and I've got a couple of corpses I can corpse rot. I have to heal up, so the stair's likely to be flooded now. I max out my resistances, especially RN. Take a look. Another hell hog, bunch of derived undead. Geryon's back to full HP. Unfortunate. Put another Curare into him. So I can do some flame axe on the simulacra. Now it's time to head up. Do corpse rot on the hell hog. So as you can see at this point, the stair is thoroughly overwhelmed. Finally, take about 50 HP damage, stair dancing down, less ascending, takes less time, less delay to ascend. Checking the resistances to see which axe is best. Decide to go with flame. Elec might be better versus that high AC on the skeletal warrior though. Anyway, finish him off. Really getting crowded. Now there's a cacodemon. So at this point the enemy is heavily entrenched, which is not what you want. I'm not sure where Geryon has gotten off to. Surely he's not dead yet, so... Thinking about going in with my full force now, which better late than never. Fully buffing up, finally getting serious. I said go with the Scourge because I'm not sure that I'll have enough adjacent. It turns out that I definitely do, and my orcs are just scattered and getting wrecked. I don't see Geryon in the mix. Not sure what happened with him. Anyway, I should be using the axe. Instead I lay into the skeletal warrior who's hurt and start a recall, or continue the recall, I'm not sure. Anyway, this is a slaughter, obviously, of orcs, more than demons. So I realize it's not working, and I decide to... I get weakened by something. Here comes Murray. So even though Geryon appears to be off-screen, maybe he retreated from the stair. We now have a mini-boss who's tougher. I could smite Murray to death, but he has too many reinforcements. So I'm zerking and just using the elect axe, trying to wreak as much havoc as I can while my orcs sacrifice themselves. Make it count. And this is what I'm talking about. Beogh not being viable, they just get slaughtered. There's a cacodemon in the mix, along with Murray, of course. Recall is still going. I decide to head up, not push my luck with the berserk running low. And Murray able to torment. Good potential for burst damage there. So my orc troops are severely depleted. We'll see how severely in a moment when I recall the rest. Yeah, some hefty casualties there. Ogrim looks around nervously. Yeah, you should be nervous. Decide to dip back in. Murray's still hanging out. I didn't pre-buff for this one, so I was distracted by the severity of the casualties. This one's looking iffy, so considering taking an agi. And I do so. Sure enough, I get corroded right away, regardless. Murray does his black mark, but I retreat away from it. Trying to figure out where that's coming from. Didn't realize it was Murray at the time. The absorbing vital energies when they hit you weakens. Double corroded now, but it's alright. Got orc backup. And if I do another pull, I'm going to be next to that cacodemon, which is a job for Zen, not Beogh. So I decide to call it there. I don't think I got Geryon. He retreated somewhere else. And I didn't get Murray either. But I thinned out a good amount of the rush, at least. So I'll have to handle that with either TSO or Zen later. That'll be a job for another day. And then I can pick up all the stuff I gifted to my orcs. So anyway, thanks for watching. Just kidding, I changed my mind about stopping. Decided to keep pushing through because I realized that either Zen or TSO might have some trouble here, and it's a great place to spend my smite piety, taking down Murray at the minimum. And hopefully that Cacodemon too. So that, yeah, it's just kind of awkward. You got the Tormentor and you've got the Mutator, so it's unclear whether to go Zen or TSO. So I'm powering up, taking it seriously. Head down. Even if I do get mutated here, I've got enough mutation potions to reset before going Zen, so. But the Cacodemon doesn't have line of sight, so it's all good. I can stair dance again. Straightforward fight here. Not sure what I'm thinking about. Oh, I decided to blink out because I feel I'm a bit too injured. So I just finished them with the sling. Looks okay to stair dance again. For whatever reason, the rush to the center is really let up. Maybe the remaining monsters are tethered to locations further away. We've got Murray now. Stair dance him up. And several skeletal warriors. First thing I want to do is lignify. I get weakened due to the black mark. And just start smiting Murray. Best not to let him get up a head of steam. He can summon some nasty things. And I'm unable to reposition as a tree, so time to blitz. And Murray's down. So that's the power of spending all your Beogh piety with a faith amulet on Vestibule. Regardless of the fact that the DCS community has thoroughly mocked this concept. It, in fact, is highly effective. Even though I executed it poorly by being lackadaisical about my offense early on, I should have been playing the way you'll see me start playing here in a bit, where I just use the orcs liberally as an offense and a meat shield. In fact, there wasn't much reason to expend most of my orcs zerking downstairs. I could have just repeatedly stair danced and suffered far fewer casualties. Could still use them as a meat shield if I felt that it was too dangerous to stair dance without allies to soak up punishment. So this is working well. I'm bringing them down as meat shields to block the cacodemon. And I'll just finish the cacodemon now. Send my allies after him and smite him down. Once he's done, I can relax a bit. Lost the Orc Warrior, no big deal. Head back up to minimize significant casualties. Don't want to lose the Warlord. I heal up, but he's still badly damaged, so better take him upstairs. Buffed up, but the monsters have retreated back to where they're tethered or just wandered away. Whatever the case, the rush is definitely broken at this point. Cacodemon, so I'm going to need some meat shields. Call them in and order them to, well, I just smite the cacodemon down. Now I'm at 5 pips of piety. Faith amulet, certainly impressive. Decide to keep on plinking while I can. fireballs doing big damage. So I head back up. No need for a meatshield on the descent, which sets up an ambush on the ascent, but this guy has a battle axe, so I'll retreat the orcs away. Hex has no chance to land. I decide to just use the sling, which will ignore his GDR. Which is handy. And also keeps my RN maxed versus his draining axe. Geryon's back. Didn't notice the Lorocyproca. Yeah, that whole zerking thing was definitely the wrong strategy. What needed to happen was just, if it's not safe to stare dance unsupported, then make a supported dive with allies, and then immediately ascend for a manageable fight. Since my Beogh tactics haven't been stretched until this point, I haven't I really had to think about optimizing that. The only thing I've optimized stair dancing for previously was training. Empty again. Here comes a lich. Wanna get the MR up against a possible paralysis. Thinking about getting the last 1% of his paralysis off with a MR+ weapon, but I decide against. Try to take out the weakest one. Rather than stairdancing these polearm guys, I'll just call in orcs when the enemy is closed conveniently. Also lets me tank for them when the polearm guys are focusing on me. I can just do damage, which is what they're good at, relatively. Fireballs are bad for orc health, so I'll head back up, recall them, leave them there, and descend to face the AoE alone. Oh, this is how to maximize damage per turn with Beogh stairdancing. Conserve party HP and try to keep up the pace, keep up the pressure. Take these two up. While the knight's healing, I can engage this green death by himself since he's AoE. Here's Geryon again. He's been pretty ignorable this time. So all the stairdancing doesn't help him build up a head of steam. I forget that I can't stairdance him. There. Tried to bring him up. Well, failing that, I'll buff up. And finally it's time to bring Geryon down. I'll handle his summons while the orcs go for the summoner. Getting knocked off the stairs. Geryon's almost down. So time to go, heal up the orcs. Just a quick 30-turn rest. Spending that time off floor permits the enemy to disperse. If they were attracted by noise, then they'll wander in and see nothing, and hopefully wander off again. Drop the curare. Most things here aren't poison vulnerable. I summon these orcs because I'm thinking about training, but I shouldn't be thinking about training anymore here. And sure enough, then there's an enemy where it's inconvenient to have the orcs out. So, Just need to forget the training mindset totally in Vestibule and go for the damage per turn mindset instead. It's like this Kraken is immobile. Oh, he just can't go in the shallow water. Now it's just mopping up. Got marked. There's nothing left to contest. To answer the call. Use the alarm trap to pull whatever's left. Do a final orc charge on this statue. And that's it for Vestibule. So the main lesson is force conservation, bring bodyguards downstairs if necessary to cover a descent, and then ascend immediately for a clean pull. And defeat in detail. Now it's time to kill off my followers on the slime walls so I don't have to defeat them in combat for no reward. Goodbye, Orgrim. That's it for the followers. Make a note to grab their stuff later. Hit up the late Zen altar. Or maybe it's just a secondary altar. Beogh demands to know who I think I am. Because I'm wearing the faith amulet, this is big. I get 3 pips of piety, which even if I, then abandon Beogh, I'm still ahead just by wearing the faith amulet. When I switched, I get a bunch of free piety, so that's great. I didn't realize that's how it works, but basically that means anytime you switch gods, you should put on the faith amulet first, regardless. Except maybe if you're switching between good gods and the math doesn't work out on that. I'm not sure what happens in that case. If you get a bigger bonus when you switch because you're wearing faith. Taking it off would tank your shared XP. So anyway, thanks for watching.